while she was there, I don't know if she had somebody in my house without my knowledge or if she did it herself, but at some point, checks went missing. Now, this is my friend I've had for years. So when my dad comes banging on my door at crazy hours of the night and is demanding answers about something I am absolutely clueless about thousands being taken out of his account so that a puppy can be purchased, like, so I don't know why, but I feel like sharing a story time because I feel like people might be able to learn from my mistake, and it's kind of long, so I'm gonna try and make it as quick and sweet as possible. This is the time I lost my last best friend, and this is one of many best friends that I've claimed. And honestly, I hate that title. Like, if you're not gonna be my replacement or substitute family, then so sorry about it. But we're not gonna claim the word best friend here, okay? At least for me. So this takes place when I was in high school, and um actually it started in high school and just kind of transitioned into some wild stuff. This friend, we're gonna we're gonna call her Kennedy. Kennedy was super sweet. She was a little bit in the circumstance of, you know, social pariah at times because she had to defend herself a lot against like childish people. So, being a certain look and personality type that wasn't everyone's generic cup of tea made it to where, I hate to say it, but it like was an easy target for immaturity. And that's really what it was. So when we moved up to college, she got way more popular with people who were a lot more mature and a lot more willing to get to know, who were more open-minded. And she was free to be herself more because she wasn't like limited by family anymore growing into her adult stages. So with great popularity comes great responsibility. And she, wasn't very educated in the maturity that she was signing herself up for. And that's like fine, you have to live with your own choices. You can't control your environment, but you can control what you choose to do in that environment. And she kind of just accepted the environment and moved accordingly to what presented itself to her. And I can elaborate that, but I'm not going to. So, plot. She was in a circumstance where, me and her were gonna come through for each other. I needed rides, she needed a place to stay, and I was like, look girl, I got you. Ain't nobody staying in my house right now, so you can stay with me while no one's there, and we can do like a whole like slumber party thing, and I can just be, giving you gas for the trips that I need to get to school, and you can, have a place to stay without having to be in an environment that is unsafe or productive for you right now in your eyes. So, story time, how my ex-best friend ended up stealing from my family and taking a trip to Disneyland with my other friend's ex, who used to like always do her dirty and cheat on her and was just nightmare fuel of a partner. And it just so happens that the friend that done me dirty ended up living the most karma filled life I could honestly get the opportunity to see. And if you want to know what ended up happening to her and how I found out all the stuff that went down, stay tuned. these dumb hoes. Okay. So I had this ex-friend who I'm gonna call Kennedy or something. I don't know. If I change her name, we'll see if I come up with something better. But right now, Katie she was sweet and underrated, but I don't need her eating at my table, so bitch the door. I ended up in a crazy circumstance of learning so much of not only her true colors, but the true colors of the friendship that I thought I had with her. And it kind of put into perspective for me why I don't like the label best friend. Also, the scratching in the back is my quail Kiwi. If you want to see her, I have a Instagram for her, but that's just what the random scratching is in the back. She's like taking a dust bath. So here's how we'll start. I'm gonna give a rundown of who is in the story. We have Kennedy. This is my ex-best friend who we don't talk about anymore. Her real name shall never be used anymore. Kidding. I don't wish negative upon her, but girl, you don't eat at my table. You can stay the fuck over there, and you get yourself into any more shenanigans. Guess what, baby? I'm just gonna be watching on the sidelines, trying to keep my opinions to myself. But yeah, so I'm gonna make up names for all the people involved. I might not for the guy she was involved with, because screw him. And if you know who you are. If this shoe fits you just a little bit too tight, Anyways, so let's see. I'm gonna use the name Raven for my friend who used to be dating this person who my ex-best friend ended up with. So we got Kennedy, my ex-best friend, Raven, my homegirl. We're still friends. I'm gonna call the love interest guy Dick. People still get named Dick, I'm sure. It's not just because he is one, but I'm gonna just reference my dad as my dad. And Fifi is going to be a character introduced later on, but they're going to eventually come in to tie the whole story together and kind of put a bow on it, if I may say. So, without further ado, we begin. So, Raven. Oh my gosh, Raven's so sweet. She's an amazing mom now. She has definitely done great for herself as a person. So, Raven, back in the days when we were younger, we were originally meeting like early high school, right? And she would tell me her stories of this piece of crap guy she was dating in her apartment. He used to be fast. He used to just kind of move in not very respectful to a relationship kind of way. And I would always be telling her, like, peace the heck out on that guy. I would tell her, like, she doesn't deserve the treatment that he gives her, and she's too young to be so heavily infatuated with somebody who isn't gratifying for her. So I would tell her, like, homegirl to homegirl, move on. You're young. You're not going to never get hit on again. Like, let's be realistic. So Raven eventually left that guy, and I thought he was gone in the dust. I was really hoping so. But sadly but surely, he found his way to crawl out of hell and into another person's world. So after thinking that we would never have to hear of this boy again, years would pass until, me, Raven, Kennedy, we were all cool. We didn't all hang out like crazy amounts of hours or anything together, but we all knew of each other. We all knew of our friendships and got along well. We graduated together. Kennedy went into college having, a blast, growing into more mature states of mind who were like willing to give her the attention that she always felt she wanted. And I was like, I feel you, girl. Proceed with caution though, because if you're wanting something deeper, you're not going to find it in superficial relationships with these guys. Oddly enough, I was, out of both of them, the only one who's been on and off in a long-term relationship, and at the same time, like, moving in the element of having to strong arm a bunch of guys out of my life because they were only there for the wrong kind of attention out of me. And realistically, like, I was only coming from a place of experience for them. So when Kennedy got her freedom, she went buck wild. Like, she had her fun, had her cake, and ate it too. And we were going through it. I'm not even gonna get through like the little nitty gritty things that we would always go through in our friendship. I'm just gonna fast forward. Now, I'm not here to spill our tea. I'm just here to spill what happened between me and her. So when she was going through it with her family, because her choices were leading her to create like a rift between them, and there was already a rift there because her family was kind of like excessive when they would talk on her personal size or lifestyle choices. And I'm all for being there for your family and giving them constructive criticism, but if you don't know how to give constructive criticism and the only thing that you're giving is criticism, don't be surprised if people use it to fuel their self-hate and destruction. So because of all the rift and everything growing between her and her family, I ended up noticing like she was basically like ending up in situations of like not living with them anymore, or for short periods of time just being homeless, basically like staying in her car. And when she would run out of resources, she would be doing some pretty crazy things to help herself get by that I didn't always agree with. And I didn't know how to be the friend to tell her, what the fuck are you doing? Like, please, like, do something different. Don't go that route because, like, you've been set up to do better than where you're going. So it was sad. So I told her, because you're currently dealing with a little bit of homelessness, I don't want you out here on the street. Why don't you stay with me for the 2 weeks that they're gone, and I won't have to hear them like complain about you being here too. And while you're here, I'll give you some gas to help me get to school, so that way you're helping me and you also are off the fucking street. So she stayed with me, and to my knowledge it was just me and her, but something happened while she was staying. There was a little bit of a complication. So I would tell her, like, I'm not in need of a ride. Like, I had my boyfriend, honestly. Like, I didn't need to like give her my gas money to get to and from school if I really like weighed my options. But both of us weren't doing anything, so I was like, girl, help me out, we're getting to school, you can stay in mine, and free food, free roof, showers, a place to wash your clothes, all the wins, right? And while she was there, I don't know if she had somebody in my house without my knowledge or if she did it herself, but at some point checks went missing. Now, this is my friend I've had for years. So when my dad comes banging on my door at crazy hours of the night and is demanding answers about something I am absolutely clueless about thousands being taken out of his account so that a puppy can be purchased, like, I don't know anything. My eyes all wonky. Sorry. Like a puppy, like my dad doesn't know, like he wouldn't. And he was big mad because he's like, what is this that is happening on my account? Like, your friend had to have done this because they're the only ones that was in the house. And he was blaming her, and I was like, no, it couldn't be my poor friend. I came through defending her, and it lasted for a while. Like, I just couldn't fathom her doing something like that, and I couldn't understand like how it could have happened because I didn't even know where my dad's stuff was to be doing something like that. And I was just like, she couldn't or wouldn't have, like, that's my friend, like. I've known her from years, and she started wanting to be like best friends. Like, she started calling me best friend, and I was like, girl, like, after my last ex-friends and how they did me, like, I don't know if I want to call anyone a best friend, but I guess, like, let me try one more time, right? Wrong. She totally bit me in the ass, because as I'm defending her, that day that my dad came to me with the information of everything happening, that same day, Raven hits me up. Raven and me don't talk that regular, so when she hits me up, it's like, hey, let's catch up really quick, or hey, like, you know, let's talk about something more direct, like we're gonna see each other, or something, like something serious. Like, we don't just hit each other up to just hit each other up. Like, we got shit going down in our house. So she hits me up, and I'm like, what's up, girl? Like, I got my shit going down over here. Like, it's so wild that you just happen to hit me up right now while I'm going through it over here. And she's like, hey, you know that piece of crap I used to date back in high school? I'm like, you mean Dick? Like OG Dick? Like the one that we used to talk on? Yeah, what about him? Like, what? She comes in and she's saying, oh, I just so happened to see, Kennedy's story on Snapchat, and I seen Dick in there, and like Dick's brother, and I'm just like, why? Because of everything I went through. Like, do you know she's with him and that's who she's with? And I'm like, no, you don't say. Because before she came to stay with me, she was telling me about a guy who she started talking to, and she really liked him, and I was so confused as to why. Why was I confused? Because of all the guys she's told me about, something stood out about how she was telling me about him. It's not like it was the first time she's never used a name, but she was telling me while she's going through her own homelessness, this guy is struggling with money, and she's giving him money. And I'm just like, why, baby girl? Like, you are a current scrub, giving a scrub what little you have to give. I don't know where I missed it, but that just doesn't sound right, baby girl. Like, that does not sound like no queen shit, or let's build a castle together type things, So I was just like, girl, don't talk to this guy. He does not sound like he is the one for you right now. Now, I'm pretty sure I was disregarded, because Raven comes to hit me up a few days later after everything is going down, and is informing me about her being with someone, Kennedy being with someone. And it's not the worst thing in the world, but after everything going on, I'm just like, wow, I have this going on at home that most likely concerns her, and she's not only with a piece of crap right now, but what are they doing? What are they doing together? Why, these two broke scrubs just so happen to be at Disneyland together. How are you and your broke friends all at Disneyland? It's not like it's impossible to have a friend or family member come through for a group of people that they care about and take them on a trip, but like, you would think there would be previous mention of shout outs or something to let that friend know some love is being thrown their way. Or even if that's not the case, like, you would think you tell your best friend who you just assigned to this role of this trip, at least talking about it. Like, I didn't even need to be invited to this large group of people's outing to one of the most expensive places, but you just so happen to just end up there under some interesting circumstances. Okay. And I only say interesting because this person was just complaining about being homeless, having no money. The person that they were dating or interested in had no money and actually was given money by the person who is currently homeless and broke. And then I'm a broke friend of theirs, and I'm pretty sure most of their friends are just as broke and no better off than either of us. And, you know, our family isn't the richest in the world to be doing some stuff like that. So, I mean, I know my dad's well off too, but he wouldn't just trek to like someplace like that without crazy planning. Like, they came up with the amount of money that was taken, and I'm not stupid. So Raven's filling me in on what's going on with Kennedy's end the following morning that I'm finding out about the money being stolen. So I have nothing against everything that went down, but when Raven tells me about where they're at, basically she fills me in. Thank God she did, because I would have basically been so caught up in the situation at home that I might not have ended up on social media or reaching out to my friend, because my dad was like, don't even give her the heads up in case I press charges. And for me, I was like, originally for the first few hours defending her like she could never do this. So when all this stuff is going on, like, out of my control at this point, because I'm just like, I don't know what to do. I want to help my family because they're the ones that got done dirty, and I also don't want to see my friend go down. But if they really did this, like, bitch, bye. So I basically cut her off. After I connected too many dots, I was like, there's no way she wasn't involved in this, and whether she directly stole it or had someone directly in my house without my consent, she's involved more than I need her to be. So we're not cool through those kinds of circumstances. So I just ghosted her, basically. I didn't even give her an explanation. She did try to hit me up every now and then to try and reach out to me. I don't know why, if it was like to try and be my friend, but karma came for me. So it started with a friend of mine that I introduced her to. Me and her came through to chill with her after she found her uncle dead in her house. So me and her pulled up to try and be there for her. So I basically cut her off. After I connected too many dots, I was like, there's no way she wasn't involved in this, and whether she directly stole it or had someone directly in my house without my consent, she's involved more than I need her to be. So we're not cool through those kinds of circumstances. So I just ghosted her, basically. I didn't even give her an explanation. She did try to hit me up every now and then to try and reach out to me. I don't know why, if it was like to try and be my friend, but karma came for me. So it started with a friend of mine that I introduced her to. Me and her came through to chill with her after she found her uncle dead in her house. So me and her pulled up to try and be there for her. To better state that, I'm gonna call my friend Chrissy. I didn't introduce her, but I didn't realize I was gonna fill this in. Chrissy is someone I introduced to Kennedy. Kennedy ended up one day back home. She found her uncle dead in one of their rooms, and while her family was going through the grieving process, nobody was really comforting her for what she experienced and what she ended up having to see. So I did my best. I don't have a ride or anything, but Chrissy came through for me. Me and Chrissy both hung out with her for a little while to try and take her mind off of it and just comfort her a little bit through the circumstance. So Chrissy knew Kennedy and was working nearby where I stay. Now, this was before everything that went down between me and Kennedy. So after everything went down with me and Kennedy, Kennedy and Chrissy ended up connecting back at Chrissy's job, which was like a Walmart by my house. And I went to go visit her afterwards, just, trying to catch up with my homie. I miss her still. I wish we would still talk. But I reached out to Chrissy and I started chatting her up, and she tells me about what happened to Kennedy and fills me in on some of her life. So I fill in Chrissy with everything that happened between me and Kennedy. And Chrissy comes to fill me in with she got preggers, Kennedy got preggers, and the person was Dick, who knocked her up. So Chrissy tells me how she's knocked up by Dick, and Dick stole her car. Stupid. Freaking, this guy knocks her up and takes a car that's not even hers. It's a gift from her grandparents. It used to be her grandfather who passed before the uncle, but she had some stuff going on in her life. So she had this beautiful gift that her family gave her to have her freedom. She had so much freedom, and she got her opportunity to have this car taken. I don't know what the fuck happened to have her in that circumstance, but damn, karma, calm down. So, conclusion, I feel like karma really bitch slapped her in the face for me. I mean, I wouldn't know what to do if I came across this girl again. I don't want to see her kid. I don't even like kids, so like, you can keep that over there. I don't want to even look at you or your kid. So sorry, but no. Her car stolen. That's insane. I didn't mention, but there was like a second check that tried to get taken, but it got bounced, luckily. And I'm really hoping my dad got reimbursed. I didn't get too included into the situation because I still am and was super innocent and naive. Like, I really trusted my friend. I really just didn't think that she could be involved. Now, let's tie this conclusion up with a bow. Kiki. Now, this is a friend who is more started off as an acquaintance, but after filling in some blanks for me and seeing her again, it was just wonderful to see her growth and for her to include me in such personal and like crazy information. This friend was friends with Dick and his brother more so than they were a friend to me. And I don't know if they're still cool, but she filled me in on that end of my story. So, also, I think Kiki fits her better. So Kiki, before I got this fill-in, was just cool with them and hung out with Dick and his brother as friends. Mostly I knew for a fact it was like the brother she was cool with. I don't know how close she was to Dick, but she tells me, I tell them the story basically. I meet up years later with another friend and Kiki's with him and we're all spilling tea, right? I'm spilling the tea on why I'm not friends with Kennedy anymore, and they know Kennedy and me were cool, so they're just like, ooh, some tasty tea here. So Kiki hears all of the stuff that went down and is like, I know Dick, and I'm gonna just call his brother Daniel. So Kiki was one of my high school friends, including the friend I met up with her. We all are just like spilling our tea of that day. And I can't remember if Kiki was with them at Disneyland, but I just know that she knew of the day and was aware of the circumstance to some small degree. So I'm just like, like, Kiki, you're basically helping me fill in the blanks I already knew. She confirmed that they were all a little bit too broke to be doing what they were doing, and it just kind of was the overall conclusion to that story that my friend wasn't really my friend, and I don't know, like, I just moved different now, and so I don't know. I'm not really telling the story to be like, be better than I was, do different. Well, you should. You shouldn't trust your friends as much as you think you can. As much as you want to trust everybody and everything. Not every human has your best interest in mind, and it sucks. Not every human is bad and is planning malicious things against you, but just don't be an easy mark out here, okay? Learn from my mistake and enjoy my sad, stupid story of a bad friendship. So, have a great day. Reach out to your friends and family. No, for real. But yeah, reach out to friends, family, send them positive wishes if you have them, you know, let them know you care. I still wish I could have been a better friend to my current ones and those who I'm no longer friends with. So hopefully they won't do something like what happened to me to the people they consider friends in the future. So if I was ever a friend to my friends, don't do this to people. That I think needs to be the conclusion to my crazy, excessive story time of weird friendships. I don't know. I do have plenty of stories concerning my friend Kennedy, or ex-friend Kennedy. I have a lot of interpersonal relationship stories if anyone wants to hear any of the things that I mentioned or otherwise. I don't have a ton of stories, but that is one that I kind of like just sharing because it is some nice, tasty tea. And it's mine, I have to live with and learn with, so you might be able to learn something from it too. Take care!